So let's say cyberpunk clown world keeps on going and you have to fit in. I'd say here's how we survive. So we should have two strategies. Strategy one is that in case accelerationism uh, does collapse society, we have to have this bunker plan. This all crime is legal and you survive with your buddies. That's the first strategy. The second strategy we should have is if neoliberalism wins, you have to learn to play the game of neoliberalism to survive in neoliberalism. And the way we do that is we drop, those of you listening, this is very, very important advice. Drop all your supplements. Don't spend more than like $100 on supplements. Drop everything. And instead, you want to start investing your money in the stock market. Because if Clown World wins, the stock market is going to skyrocket exponentially. So the new 1% is whoever owns stocks. And I think the best life extension strategy, other than survivalism in the bunkers, is that you accumulate capital so that you can get these stem cell transplants, these brain computer interfaces, these things that are going to save your life when you're like 100. Like the supplements can no longer help you. Nothing can help you except for these really advanced technologies that are going to show up in cyberpunk clown world. So we see. I want you to pull up an image for all to see. Go into your Google Images. This one's really important.
Oh,
so
yeah.
In Google Images, go to investment, type investment, and then A Tale of Two Brothers.
Investment, A Tale of Two Brothers. Tax direct investment.
Yeah, so you're going to see a chart. One is in green and blue.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
So maximize it, make it bigger, all to see, because this is the most important life extension advice I'm going to give you on this entire live stream. Are you ready?
All right.
So
it's fully maxed.
The first, the green brother, that's the smart guy. The blue brother, that's the dumb guy. So the dumb guy is the guy who worked. Or sorry, the smart guy, the green guy, is the guy who worked really hard in his 20s and put away every single penny. And he worked for 8 years, just living like a monk. That's basically what I'm doing right now. Is I'm living like a monk, and I'm just putting all my money away. So this guy, he only had to work for 8 years, and then the rest of his life he could spend on prepping, eternal life, surviving clown world. So that's the guy you want to be. Now the guy on the right, the blue guy, the dumb guy, this is the guy who has an Instagram. He has he plays the popularity game. He plays like trying to nail thoughts who don't even like him. He marries a woman without securing his finances and gets divorced. This is the dumb guy who spends his 20s. He goes off to Thailand or the Philippines, just drinking, like just partying his life away in college. And then once he turns 30, he starts putting money into his stocks. So here's the difference. One guy only had to work 8 years. The other guy has to work 40 years to get the same amount of money, actually less money, if you look at that. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So from now on, all you, like I said, the purpose of my channel is to get as many transhumanists into the 1% as possible. I want you all in the 1%, and this is how we're going to do it. I want you to visualize every single dollar in your bank account right now as a potentially $20 in the future, or $100 if invested properly 30 years from now. I want you to see every dollar as a Benjamin. Okay?
Uh-huh.
If you do this, you will be allowed to join the future class of oligarchs. These in Richard Morgan's Altered Carbon, they're called Mets or Methuselahs. So have you seen our Altered Carbon, like the super elite? These are just people who saved up, and then since they live forever, their stocks keep going up forever. The rich get richer and richer and richer and richer, and the poor just stay poor.
Wow, yeah, I have watched. I made a video on Altered Carbon. I haven't watched the thing though, but
watch it. It's good.
It's good.
It's really good philosophically. It deconstructs identity. It explores like transhumanist relationships. But the best commentary is economic. It's everything we talked about here with neoliberalism and accelerationism. Except in this accelerationism, it's like right-wing accelerationism. So society never collapses. It just gets increasingly more dehumanized, like Nick Land wants. So in that sense, you have, let's say so that's what I've been doing in my 20s was I'm trying to be the first brother who just he's putting away 5,000 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting away 10,000 a year because I want to I want to do more than the bare minimum. And what this lets you do is once you hit 30 or whatever, I won't hit 30 for a while, but then I can start moving to my bunker, and that money's just going to sit there and grow. So let's say the collapse, shit hits the fan. Let's say that doesn't happen. So now that doesn't happen. Okay, we failed. You and I, Rowan, we failed. Our bunker failed. The drones, the military came and kicked us out of our no-go zone. Somehow they figured out how to get people off federal land using drones. And now we have to go live in the megacities. We have to go live in Clown World. And once we get back there, we're going to find that our money has grown exponentially. We now have $2 million there. Let's say we're both 60 or 50. We return to we'll call it Megacity 2, which is like Los Angeles, San Diego, Tijuana. That's or Sacramento, Bay Area, San Jose. Megacity, like whatever megacity we go back to, where we're forced off our land. We go back there, and we now have this fortune awaiting us there. So we prepped for both opportunity. We prepped for both cases. We were preppers in the collapse sense, and we were preppers in the takeoff, the technological takeoff singularity. So we prepped for both possible outcomes. So either we are rich billionaires who use our money to we use our money to sort of fight for like the liberation of the people. We invest it in the right avenues that create subversive technologies like automation, and we create like a left accelerationist utopia for the people. That's our first option. When we become like these rich people, we should use it responsibly. I know power corrupts, and it's almost impossible to not be corrupted by neoliberalism. But that's one option. Or we prepped for option two, which is where society collapsed and we have to rebuild it. And within one generation, we'll have everything we lost before, but better, just like the Renaissance and the Black Plague. So
would it also be wise to put some of your money at least into like something like gold and silver, so that just in case the whole system collapses, at least you have something that the value cannot go down because it's.
You want to hear my stock portfolio?
Sure.
So I've got some cryptocurrency in case of hyperinflation, and then I've got some gold and mostly silver. You want silver, not gold, because here's the thing about gold. Each gold coin is like $500. So how are you going to trade that with somebody? I need a loaf of bread. I can't trade you this gold coin. And also, they're not going to trust you. It's like trying to use $100 bill at a convenience store. Mm-hmm. So you want mostly silver, and then because silver, it's like $20 a coin. You can like actually buy stuff with it. So I got some in cryptocurrencies. And in case society really collapses, in case we get that collapse where we have to go to a no-go zones, we're going to need a mini economy in that no-go zone. And that's where the silver comes in. We can actually have a functional economy. It's not going to be like a cutthroat economy like the one we have now. It's more based on like mutual aid. Like I know everybody in my commune, so if they're struggling, I'll be nice and help them out. It's not like you have to we're exploiting people in the third world to build our shit, or you have this welfare system that takes from one state and gives to another state, and those people never even meet. They can't see they're alienated from the product of their labor, which either goes to producing commodities or to propping up like drug dealers and like welfare people and nihilists who don't care about contributing to society or don't even have the avenue to care. So that's why we need to invest in silver and gold, like you said. And then the third thing I'm buying is stocks. So this is Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett says if you look at the SP 500 index since like the I think like the 1950s, and you just invested like $10,000, you'd be like one of the richest people on earth. If you just put it in there and you just held, you don't panic sell. When the market crashes, you say, oh, so what? You have to be detached from your money. You have to be as detached from your money as a communist is. You have to have the opportunities of a capitalist, but the mindset of a communist if you want to survive Clown World. So you have to put that money away and pretend it's dead to you. Never touch it. And then when the stock market always goes up, especially in neoliberal Clown World. So we get these cyberpunk megacities, the economy is probably going to be like 10 times bigger than it is now. And then your money will have grown to like this monstrous size. You see those totals at the bottom, like $2 million.
Yeah.
Like. So if we fail and we come back and we're like 50, we'll have all that money waiting for us. And what you want to do is the fourth thing you want to invest in. So the SP 500 index, like there it says there's 10% growth per year. If you take like the Trump gold rush and the recent economy, that's a very reasonable assumption to make for the SP 500. So that's the five biggest 500 biggest companies in the U.S., you get ETFs, which is like stocks that are uh, an average of those companies. So you buy those ETFs and you hold for decades. You don't go panic sell when there's a recession. So that's the third thing I buy. Now the fourth thing I buy is where I'm working. This is kind of dumb, but like retirement. I know like if you get divorced, they can take your retirement, but since I'm not getting married, at least not on paper, maybe I'll get married ceremonially. But what you want is a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k. You don't want a traditional 401k and a traditional Roth IRA. Here's why. So the difference between a traditional and a Roth is the traditional is you don't pay taxes. You wait till you're 60 and then you pay those taxes to withdraw it. With the Roth, you pay all your taxes now, and whatever money you get back when you're 60 is yours. It never gets taxed. So here's the reason we want the Roth and not the traditional, because the taxes are only going to get higher. We're going to elect increasingly more leftist candidates to raise the taxes on the middle class while the rich pay nothing. The rich find the loopholes. They always find a way to pay $0 in taxes, always. And it's always the middle class. Even like with Bernie, I know Bernie wants to tax the rich, Yang wants to tax the rich, but the rich are smarter than you and they'll figure out how to hide their money in tax havens. So the middle class always pays, always. And the way you avoid that is you pay all your taxes up front using the Roth. And by the time it's like 2045, let's say the taxes are 70%, like in Sweden. The like income tax, I think it's like 65%, the highest bracket in Sweden. We don't have to pay that because we already paid when we put the money in. So if you have a job and your employer has a 401k, pick the Roth 401k, not the traditional 401k. And the maximum contribution to that is $20,000 a year. If you have an IRA, which is an individual retirement account, you want to get the Roth IRA, not the traditional IRA. So you put $5,000 a year into that. So essentially, you're putting away $25,000 a year into those accounts. And by the time you're 30, just stop. Just let them grow. So that's my strategy for getting to join the likes of Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and anyone who will be able to afford these life extension treatments. That's the best thing you could do with your money. Don't go buying like fucking Ben Greenfield. He's like this biohacker who has a bunch of these like expensive fucking like trinkets. Don't go throwing dollars at the club just to like show off how cool of a biohacker you are. Just get what you need, like a few supplements, a few picks, like I do. I don't spend more like all this. I'm actually going to spend less on supplements. I'm going to get it down to like three bottles because a lot of this didn't work for me. So I've narrowed it down to like what I need to get by, and don't spend more than $200 on supplements per month. Put all of it away for later. That's like I said. As Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it gets it. He who doesn't pays it.
Wow. So how about a membership at Planet Fitness so you can get your red light therapy? Do you do your red light?
You want to talk about that? So
yeah,
it's for. So yeah, let me just plug this in.
That was one of my New Year's resolutions, to get my red light.